because this was probably one of the most important issues that we raised during committee. And again, all information is crucial here. And that's the one thing we were all firm on. And Minister, as you were yourself, and you have given that commitment, that people that access their information, they get all their information, or else, as you said, if they tick that box and they want whatever information, you know, that they want to get themselves, that they can get that. But again, I think this is good. I know you have listened to us. And again, it's about inclusiveness and making sure that they get their information. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Last Count Corla. So I don't for a minute question any deputy's view about the spirit of what we're trying to achieve here. I think we all are trying to achieve, as Deputy Murnane-O'Connor just said, the full access, the full release of all information. But I don't believe that the change being proposed here, I don't believe that furthers that goal. I think it actually restricts that goal, because Deputy Funchion spoke about the broadest definition of personal data, but we are providing a definition of personal data, and it is a lengthy one, and I'll talk about its length in a moment, but we are providing a definition that will be in this legislation, and the only way this definition can be changed is if this legislation is amended. Whereas what the legislation currently does is the definition of personal data is defined as the EU defines it. So as Court of Justice cases evolve the definition of personal data, because we're referring to the use of personal data in the GDPR regulation, and that is interpreted by the European Court of Justice. And if they change that definition through their case law, the definition of personal data that we use changes as well. But what this amendment seeks to do is, this is the definition of personal data. This is what we define personal data is for this legislation. And while it is lengthy, it is conclusive. And the only way of changing it is to bring forward amending legislation. So it means that the definition of personal data in this legislation may start to diverge from the most up-to-date interpretation of personal data as per decisions of the European Court of Justice. And I don't think that's a position we want to be in. We don't want to see Irish law start to diverge from European Court of Justice jurisprudence, particularly when it comes to a definition of personal data that is central to what the GDPR is all about. So that's why I am opposing this amendment, and I don't believe this particular change should be made. Now, as I said, it's a lengthy definition. It has 46 different sections, and the vast majority of these are already covered by the definitions contained in this legislation. So the definitions of birth, early life, care, medical information and provided items, that covers the vast majority of those 46 listed types of personal information that is proposed in this amendment. But it is important to say that that list of 46 also contains items of information that is not pertaining to the relevant person. And as Deputy Carn said, this is all about ensuring that information pertaining to the relevant person is available to them. But some of those points are not pertaining to the relevant person. They're pertaining to others. And that's not something that we can include in the definition of personal data. So as I say, we want our definition, the definition we use in this legislation, to be able to expand as the definition from the Court of Justice expands as well. And this would restrict that. And I don't think that's something any of us want to do, so I'll be opposing this amendment.